Hey y'all, I'm Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hey. If you already know what's going on with me, hey girl, hey. So this vlog is super special to me because it is my class reunion. Yeah, high school class reunion. I graduated high school 10 years ago in 2013. I can't even believe it. The time is flying by. And so this vlog is all about planning the reunion, the activities, all that good stuff. And I am part of the committee because I was class president. So yeah, it's fun getting back into like leadership mode with my friends. And so today is September 15th and I have a meeting with the head counselor to talk about a conversation we want to have with the seniors. A part of our reunion festivities for the weekend, we want to give back and kind of offer advice to the current seniors. And so we're going to work out an agenda, figure out, you know, what it will exactly look like with the conversation. And so, yeah, I'm not going to show any students or anything, but just this whole vlog will be about the process leading up to the big weekend. So, yeah, stay tuned. Y'all, I'm walking back because the person I need to speak to isn't here. So I don't know if it's an emergency that they're not here, but I hope all is well. So I'm just going to send an email just to check in and see if we can reschedule. But I'm about to go get me breakfast because I don't want this morning to be a wasted trip. So yeah. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock and I am here at my high school because today is the talk for the seniors. So I'm super excited. My classmates, they agreed and they willingly said yes to this morning talk. And so I'm super excited to just, you know, give advice to the seniors, what, you know, life is post high school, and if they choose a career, choose a path of going to college, what I've learned and what I wish I knew. So I'm super excited. I'm about to check in and get started because I told everybody to be here at 8, but it's like 8:10, so I need to go ahead and check in because the conversation starts at 8:20. So yeah, I'm not gonna film the students, they are minors, but I guess I'll check back in once the conversation is over. And then later today is the homecoming football game, so I'll see more of my friends, and then tomorrow is the official meetup for the reunion. So yeah, so far so good. I made it and I am here at the football game with my brother.
Hey.
He also went to the same high school as me, but he hasn't been here in what, 10 years?
Since I graduated.
Right. Like once we graduated, we kind of forgot to like come back, or not forgot, but we kind of like life happened. So you excited about this homecoming game?
Yeah, they got words on the school building now.
Right. They got like 4 letters and it's all lit up. This is different.
It was raining.
They got benches for people to be outside. Like what was outside for us? The football game is over. My school won per use. How you feeling, brother?
Cold.
Yes. But I got to see a bulk of my friends, and so it was nice catching up. And so we do it all over again for tomorrow. So it's the day of the official meetup for our 10-year reunion. I arrived, and so now I'm going to enter and see, you know, who all shows up. We have a 4-hour block, so, you know, hopefully it's a great turnout. Last night at the football game, it was great to see my friends, and, you know, it was a small but mighty group that came, but, you know, nonetheless, it was still a great time. So hopefully it's a greater turnout. And so I feel like at the end of like the meetup, like once I'm home, I think I need to do like a recap of what I've learned throughout this process of helping to plan a class reunion, but also like going forward, you know, tips to like kind of avoid some of the things that we had to experience. So yeah, I'm about to have fun, and yeah, I'll check back in later. I've also never ate at this sports bar and grill that we're having, so that should be interesting to see how the food turns out. So yeah. And if I don't let you know, then I won't be for real. I could be wrong, but I feel like something could be going on. The more I see you, the more that it becomes so true. There ain't no other for me, it's only you. I wanna guide you with what you go through. I wanna be down, I wanna be down. You don't make it. It was a success. Listen. Like, we really like pulled this off in like less than a month. Honestly, I want to say 3 weeks, because the way I had no clue like what we were gonna do Saturday. I was like, I'm so glad. Like, the restaurant was a great choice. People loved their food. It was just a good vibe, and it was an intimate setting, and it wasn't too crowded with like our classmates to where we felt like overwhelmed of like, you know, trying to like catch up with everybody. It was just a good vibe, and I left 30 minutes prior to like the end time, but you know, another person arrived, and you know, people, you know, are, you know, easing their way out from the restaurant. But I can't wait to like really sit down and like share like, you know, the things like that I could have done better, or you know, next time, you know, what I should look out for when preparing for a reunion. So yeah, so I'm about to drive home, and then I'm gonna let y'all in on like some tips. Okay, y'all, so it's actually been some weeks since the class reunion happened, and so I want to just give y'all the rundown of basically what happened, what I wish I could have did better, must-haves for planning a class reunion, and just all that good stuff. I mean, I want to keep it as brief as possible so that, you know, it's not like a super long recap. So I took some notes so that I can, you know, stay on point. So I feel like to kick it off, I want to share the must-haves for planning a class reunion. The first is having a planning committee. It is so important to have a team of your peers who can really, you know, give you that support to give you that support, and that you're able to delegate tasks for them to really push through with the planning. It's almost impossible to try to feel like you can do it all on your own, planning a class reunion. There's so many moving parts. You are only one person. Don't try to feel like you have to carry the load. And even if you are delegating tasks and people aren't following through, hold them accountable, you know, really stay on them, or do swap outs with your committee and just, you know, make an open announcement of those who have an interest in planning and want to be involved in the class reunion. Do swap outs. Like, you need to do whatever it takes to make sure your class reunion and your activities all comes through for you. Like, you know, be professional about it, and, you know, really just, you know, make the swap if it needs to come to that point, or just add people who can kind of like help carry the load for you. So planning committee, that's number one. Number two, social media. You have to have some type of presence online, because most of everybody has some type of digital footprint. You know, if they're not on a particular social media site that you're on, they have some type of awareness. And so for us, we chose Instagram as our core our core platform to post any updates, any announcements, just anything pertaining to the class reunion. We relied on Instagram as our platform. So I would suggest, you know, making sure you get those accounts in place. So So that's must-haves: a planning committee and social media presence. This next section is what I could have done better. Now, towards the end, I'm going to say, like, what I really liked about, what happened this weekend. But right now, what I could have did better. I'm going to hold myself up and, hold myself accountable of where I lack. Hold myself up in holding myself account. What am I trying to say? Y'all, scratch that. Like, it's late, y'all. It's actually midnight. I'm recording this. That's besides the point. This area is all of what I could have did better. And I'm not pointing the fingers at anybody that was on the planning committee with me. This is all on what I could have did better. I was class president, and so I really took that position seriously in high school, and so I take it seriously now. But I'm about to tell y'all what I did, how I kind of like messed it up. So I think the first thing is like consistency with posting on social media. I lacked in like keeping the momentum going online. So originally I was responsible for creating the graphics on Canva for our class reunion Instagram page, but it wasn't until like the last 2.5 months of like this whole reunion and all that, where I had access, and it was actually now my responsibility to not only create the graphics but actually post. Like, I had access to that account. So the last 1.5 months, like, I felt like I could have did a better job of posting regularly and keeping the momentum going. I lacked, and honestly, I feel like just in general for a class reunion planning, you need a solid 6 months or so, ideally a year, to really keep the hype going, and not just, oh, here's our Instagram page, stay tuned for alerts, but every 2 weeks or so out of every month, you should have some type of like post going up to just keep that page active. And so the second part I want to mention is how I feel like the execution fell flat in the sense of awareness and letting our class know that this is the weekend of the reunion, and plan accordingly. Once we actually finalized the weekend dates, I felt like, though Instagram, we had a solid following on Instagram with our followers, not everybody is on Instagram. A lot of people are offline. And so, I feel like I'm going to put it as we could have, reached out personally for people. And I'm sure we did do that, but maybe just a better job of like making sure like, okay, this person, they're not following our Instagram page. How can I get in touch with them? What's their email? Who do I know that knows them? I felt like I could have really like kicked it into gear on my end of like reaching out to those who I know wasn't following the page but followed me personally on Instagram. Like, isn't that crazy? It's like my high school friends that was following me on my personal accounts, I didn't even think to like share the page with them. Like, that's like what execution falling flat. Like, that's actually the perfect example. Okay, so to wrap it up, payments. What did I put? I felt like I say that you need at least a 3-month minimum to let people know, like, these are the fees. This is the deadline for what needs to be paid. We chose Eventbrite and Custom Ink for our t-shirts, and Eventbrite to cover everybody's appetizers, and kind of like, it was like a prepaid situation. I feel like we should have gave a 3-month minimum instead of like a 3-week. timeline of like, oh, the links are in our bios, you could go ahead and pay, and these are the deadlines. It's like, that is such a short turnaround, and that's not fair to your peers who, you know, deserve more of a heads up. We fell short in that sense of like payments. Like, if you need to accept any type of fees, you need to give people time to, like, you know, have it in their brain that this is the deadline. And like, another part with social media, having enough time to really just post so many reminders so that, you know, people are aware. I feel like social media and payments and timelines of when things are due is so crucial to make sure that everybody is aware and on the same page of when things are due. Okay, so that's like what I could have did better, kind of like hindsight, you know, looking back on, you know, the overall experience. Now, here is what I loved. I loved that, you know, it was a small but mighty group for the Friday and Saturday activities, but it was fun. It didn't feel like, I said it in the car in the clip before this one, that, you know, it wasn't so packed that you would have felt overwhelmed, kind of like giving the elevator speech of like what you've been up to for the past 10 years. It didn't feel overwhelming. It felt like, you know, like all your friends were just hanging out, and it's like you just hanging out to just catch up for like a summertime recap instead of a 10-year recap, if that makes sense. Like, it just felt like a warm hug. That's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, we just picked back up from high school. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best way to describe it. It felt like a warm hug. Like, it just felt so nostalgic. It just felt like everybody looked the same. Everybody still looks great. It was just lovely. Going to the football game, I felt like it was 2012, 2013 all over again. Our school won for the homecoming game. That was just the icing. It was just lovely. Like, a lot of my friends, they have families of their own. They have children. And it's just beautiful seeing that some brought their kids to the football game, and I got to see pictures, and, you know, it was just beautiful. And so what I will say is, just because our 10 years celebration has ended, that does not mean that we're not going to have more activities and hangouts in the future. And now that I know what will make a successful outing the best that it can be, I'm going to make sure that I implement that going forward to other get-togethers. So yeah, that is my recap of my 10-year class reunion for high school. I hope you liked it. If you did, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.